Hey there and welcome. Today I'll be looking back at a game called Nobody Saves the World. It's a 2D top-down action RPG developed and published by DrinkBox Studios, who also brought us Guacamelee in the past. In the background you will see a small dungeon run from the game. Nobody Saves the World is a game about saving the world. You are a nobody who is going to do just that. You can switch between many different forms, which act as classes. Each has its own unique playstyle and you can mix and match to make your own somewhat custom classes. You can become a horse who attacks backwards, or a mermaid who shoots bubbles. You can even just become a slug, because why not? The game has a decent art style and polished visual design, which I quite like. There were a lot of different assets making environments feel and look varied. It never felt repetitive in any way. Movesets and abilities for each character and enemy were well animated and telegraphed. Gameplay was pure action RPG which included a lot of different skills and animations. It's difficult to make these feel samey unless you use the same ability layout for every class. In this game you level up only by doing quests, but quests include more than just killing monsters or collecting items. Some quests are just about using specific abilities on a specific character, or simply walking around X number of steps. This is also how the forms get upgrades and become stronger. Game itself consists of an overworld and a lot of dungeons. Most of the game scales with you in some capacity, and you get to open up the overworld map by clearing quests or finding secret ways through places. So it isn't quite an open world, but it's close enough. It has these kinds of Metroidvania elements, in the sense that you find walls and you can open them up later on, for example. Total playtime for your first playthrough is roughly 25 to 30 hours, if you want to do everything, including getting all of your forms to their maximum rank. That means this is a very lengthy title and gives you plenty of fun. Dungeons themselves are also replayable. They scale with your level, and their layout has several different variants that you can get whenever you enter one. Each dungeon also has its own penalties or buffs that it applies to you or enemies, which makes each of them a different experience. For example, there is one where enemies receive a times 9999 damage multiplier, which means you are a one-shot. It really makes you think about your playstyle. However, that's not all. The game also has a New Game Plus mode, which gives you even more to do. You start the game over from the beginning, but keep everything. From what I understand, the game's dungeons will be different. I'll review that mode separately later on. From what I know about it currently, is that it's the kind of New Game Plus that I like, where the game becomes harder instead of starting from level 1 again. I liked the game's story. It wasn't heavily story-based or anything, but it had a decent and enjoyable narrative, with twists and turns. I think you'll enjoy it as well. All in all, I found Nobody Saves the World to be a genuinely fun little game to de-stress to. Its gameplay feels responsive, polished, and well thought out. I even think that this game is replayable thanks to how many different ways there are to approach content, and simply because of how the game itself feels to play. Even linear games can be replayable in my opinion if they are designed a certain way, like being good. I think that about covers what I have to say about the base game. This is something you definitely should keep an eye on. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.